Hello, students of class 11th. How are you? I hope you all are fine. So, dear students, today I will finish this chapter 7 Birth written by A.J. Cronin. Then I will also discuss NCRT exercises and some important points which we must remember about this chapter, some important facts to be remembered in this chapter. So we will also discuss examination style questions. Okay, so let us begin. First let me finish a few paragraphs which are left. So as of now in this story we have seen how Andrew made a child alive when he was lifeless. Let me show you on the screen some important facts which we must remember. So dear student, chapter 7 Birth written by A.J. Cronin, as you can see on your screen. So birth is the story of a doctor, just a fresher, who handles a complicated child delivery case in the most admirable way and brings back life in a dead born child, as we have seen in the story. In doing so, he applies his medical textbook knowledge as well as determination. The story expresses the anxiety, dedication towards profession, and gratitude towards God. Andrew Manson was returning home late night, brooding over a disappointing evening with his girlfriend Christine. It was midnight, and when he reached near the house and found a miner, Joe Morgan, waiting him to attend to his wife immediately. She was expecting their first child after 20 years of marriage. At the patient's house, Andrew saw that the lady was being attended to by a midwife and Mrs. Morgan, an elderly woman. It took about 2 hours when the process of childbirth began. Andrew was tired, but he had no option to leave the patient. After about an hour long harsh struggle, a child was born towards the dawn. But the child was stillborn. The child was lifeless. When Andrew gazed at the lifeless form, he shivered with horror. Then looked at the mother. She required immediate attention. Andrew was in a dilemma. Whom should he attend to first, the child or the mother? Andrew gave the child to the nurse and turned his attention to the mother, who was unconscious. Gradually, her heart strengthened, and Andrew could now leave her to attend the baby. He asked about the child. The midwife was thoroughly frightened. Taking this still child, she had dumped it beneath the bed amongst soaked newspaper. He pulled the child out. The child was perfectly formed. Andrew could understand that it was a case of suffocation. due to lack of oxygen and excess of carbon dioxide in the blood. Andrew started giving the necessary treatment. He did not lose heart. The midwife again and again told him that it was a stillborn child, but Andrew did not heed. He kept on dipping the child's limp body in hot and cold water alternatively. After exhaustive efforts, a miracle happened. The child sighed and started crying. Its white skin turned pink, and he was no longer stillborn. At last, Andrew heaved a sigh of relief. He handed the child to the nurse. He told the entire story to Joe, standing outside, and walked down the street. The dawn was breaking by the time Andrew started towards home. He was full of gratitude towards God and felt a deep sense of satisfaction. He realized that he had done something real at last. It was the birth of his new life as a doctor. So this is all about this chapter, students, but a few paragraphs were left to explain, so let me explain them. Page number, please take out your book and open page number 67. Page number 67. Third paragraph. Here is the nurse's voice was heard calling from the top landing. Andrew glanced at the clock, which was showed 3:30. Oh, sorry, but it is not page number 67. It is page number 69. Sorry, dear students, page number 69. Paragraph third. Andrew handed her the child. He felt weak and dazed. About him, the room lay in a shuddering litter. Blankets, towels, basins, soiled instruments, and the hypodermic syringe impaled by its point of puddle of water. Upon the huddled bed, the mother still dreamed her way quietly through the anesthetic. The old woman still stood against the wall, but her hands were together, her lips moved without sound. She was praying. So the students, when child started breathing, how they were happy. So how and condition of room, it was poorly disordered. Everything was thrown here and there, as the author described. Andrew handed her child. Now Andrew gave her child. He felt weak and dazed. Now Andrew was feeling weak because already he had spent a disappointing evening. He was very much depressed, and now he worked very hard for that child. About him, the room lay in a shuddering glitter. Blankets, towel, basins, all disorderly. They were arranged in a room, or were littering there in the room. So all these things, hypodermic syringe, and ever knocked, a big jug, a kettle. So all these things. Upon the huddled bed, the mother still dreamed her way quietly through the anesthetic. So upon that disorderly arranged bed, the mother still she was dreaming her way quietly through the anesthetic. Still she was unconscious. Suzanne Still Susan was unconscious. The old woman still stood against the wall, and the old woman, Joe Morgan's mother, still she was in same condition. But her hands were together, her lips moved without sound. She was praying. But now she folded her hands, she joined her hands, and now she was praying God. Mechanically, Andrew wrung out his sleeve, pulled on his pocket. Now, Andrew, he squeezed his sleeve, and it was wet, so he squeezed his sleeve and pulled out his jacket. I'll fetch my bag later, nurse. And he told the nurse that he will fetch his bag later. He went downstairs through the kitchen into the scullery. His lips were dry. Scullery, a room of washing dishes, and for similar work, a room for washing dishes, the scullery. His lips were dry. At the scullery, he took a long drink of water. He reached for his hat and coat. Outside, he found Joe standing on the pavement with a tense, expectant face. So outside, he found Joe having excited feeling. Expectant face means having excited feeling on his face. All right, Joe, said he thickly. So he informed Joe that everything was okay, both all right. It was quite light, nearly 5 o'clock. Now it was enough light, and it was about 5 o'clock. A few miners were already in the streets. The first of the night shift moving out as Andrew walked with them. So a few night shift was over, a few miners were moving out. Andrew also walked out with them, spent and slow, his footfalls echoing with the others, his footfalls echoing his sound of foot while he was going, walking, moving. With others under the morning sky, he kept thinking blindly, oblivious, not aware of any concern. He kept thinking to all other work he had done in blindly. So he was thinking what he had done in blindly. He was thinking nothing but what he had done in blindly. I have done something, oh God, I have done something real at last. So thus he was thanking God for what he had done. Okay, so this is all about this chapter. Now open your book at page number 70. Let us go through the questions. I have done something, oh God, I have done something real at last. Why does Andrew say this? What does it mean? So dear students, we know that Andrew said this because Andrew had done which was impossible. So he did something which was impossible. He made a nearly dead child alive. So it was a miracle. So that is why he was calling it. So you have to elaborate this answer. You have to add more words and more lines from your side. So mixing your own creativity, you have to write this answer in about 200 words. Okay. There lies a great difference between textbook medicine and world of practicing physician. Discuss. Yes, there is a huge difference in textbook medicine and the person who practice the things. So really, if you have read something, you cannot perform it well, but if you have practiced, so you can. So giving some examples, you have to write also it in 200 words. Do you know of any incident when someone has been brought back to life from the brink of death through medical help? So, discuss medical procedures such as organ transplant, organ regeneration that are used to save human life. So, students, if you have gone through such experience, so you must write. If you haven't gone through, so you can also go for it on Google. You can Google it, you can search it on internet, and you can write about it. So, all three questions are of long answer type questions. So, please write them in about 200 words, mixing your own feeling, mixing your own opinion, your own creativity. Okay, so I want you not to make grammatical mistakes while writing answers. Okay, students, now let us discuss some extra questions which I am going to show you on your screen. Already, yes, you must be seeing it. Short answer type questions, 30 to 40 words. So these are some extra questions which are very important for your examination. Some solved questions are there. After that, we will take I will give you some unsolved questions for practice. Who was Joe Morgan? Why was he waiting for Andrew Manson? So students, Joe Morgan was a driller in Blanley, a mining town. He and his wife Susan were married for nearly 20 years, and now they were expecting their first child. He was waiting for the doctor to help Susan in the delivery of the child. Second one. Why did a shiver of horror pass over Andrew? So Dr. Andrew struggled for more than an hour. His help of Mother Susan Morgan for the self-delivery of the baby. It should be in instead of is. Dear Andrew struggled for more than an hour for help the mother, Susan Morgan, for the self-delivery of the baby. But the child was born. He was lifeless. As Andrew gazed at the still-born baby, a shiver of horror passed over him. So this was the reason. Now students, use the given notes to answer the following questions. Hey doctor, I am glad to see you. Why did Joe Morgan say this to Andrew Manson? Now these questions for your practice. What thoughts related to marriage were running in Andrew's mind? How do you conclude that the meeting between Andrew and Christine was an unpleasant one? How was Joe's house maintained? Why did Susan not want it to be injected chloroform? Sixth one. As he gazed at the stillborn, a shiver of horror passed over Andrew. Explain. How was Susan brought back to consciousness? The old lady offered Andrew a cup of tea. Why did he smile at her offer? What decision did Andrew make as he drank the tea? Why were Andrew's thoughts on marriage confused and resentful? She's awful setup of child, or we all are, I fancy. Why did the old lady say so? What dilemma was faced by Andrew when he saw the stillborn child? Why was the midwife frightened on being asked for the stillborn child? How did Andrew revive the stillborn child? What made Andrew say, I have done something real at last? So these questions are short answer type questions. So you must write down all the questions in your notebook and also answer to these questions. I will also discuss and share these questions in online classes. Okay, students. Next, long answer type questions. Now you have to answer them in 120 words. Describe at length how Andrew revived the stillborn child. So now you have to answer in detail. You have to describe the whole process. What made Andrew exclaim, I have done something, oh God. So we have just come across this question in short answer type questions also, and it is long answer type question. So we have to add more information while answering this question. Justify the title of the story, Birth. Okay, so you have to justify that it is a suitable title. What does the story highlight about the essence of true happiness and fulfillment through Dr. Andrew's experience? Discuss with reference to the story. Fifth one, the greatest lesson we can learn from Dr. Andrew's life is never give up. Do you agree? Give reason in support of your answer. So all questions are very important, students. As we can see, some value based questions are also there. So I hope you have got this beautiful chapter very well, and you will be writing all the answers. So please must write all these extra questions and also these points. These points are also very important. If you write them in your notebook, so easily later during your examination, easily you can revise them. So you had better to note down all the things, okay, which have been described in this video. So it is not only for this chapter. In my coming videos, for all the chapters, after finishing the syllabus, I will discuss these such kinds of important points and comprehension based question answers, short answer type question answers, and long answer type question answers for all the chapters. So dear students, so you must write all the questions and their answers in your notebook. As the next chapter of this book, The Tale of Melon City by Vikram Seth, it is deleted now, it is not in your syllabus. So in my next class, I'll start chapter 5 in Hornbill, the Brownian version. So dear students, today in this video, let me introduce that chapter, the Brownian version. So that chapter also is like Mother's Day. It's also a play and very beautiful chapter, a humorous lesson, a humorous play. Okay, So this play is about a teacher and student. How that student does not like the teacher. It does not like the teacher, and how he makes comment on the teacher. How conversation goes on between a teacher and a student about another teacher and student. So all the name of the boy in that place Taplow. So you must do a silent reading to that chapter so that you can understand better when I will explain that chapter. So Taplow is a student of 5th class in that story, but he does not like a teacher, and another teacher once he calls him and he talks about that teacher. He reveals many things. He also tells, even God cannot predict about the teacher. He was also worrying about his result, which was going to be announced the next day. So this way students, that in a very humorous way, it also tells us thinking of a boy towards a teacher. How a boy studying in 5th grade can think of a teacher, can make his or her perception about a teacher. So all this the author has described very beautifully in that chapter. So here students, it is chapter 5 in your Hornbill. So you must read that chapter once before we will begin in tomorrow's video. Okay, so I hope you must be doing silent reading to that chapter, and also note down difficult words, okay, and their meanings you can also find out. You should now use dictionary beta. Many students, when they don't know the meaning of any word, directly they ask to the teacher. It's okay, I'm not saying that you cannot ask, but you should also use dictionary now. Okay, so also you should write word meanings, which you find difficult words, meaning to their word, meaning to those words you must write down. You had better to write them down in your book. Okay students, so in our next class we will start chapter 5, the Brownian version in your Hornbill. So please go through that chapter, that humorous chapter, that humorous play, which is a conversation between Taplow and Horace. Taplow is the student in that chapter. Okay, so I hope you will definitely go through, and also will discuss with me in online classes. Okay students, so this is all about today's video. In today's video we have finished a very beautiful chapter, birth, which motivates us that we should, whatever we are doing, we should do with full determination and keeping faith in God. Then we can achieve anything. Even in this story you can see Dr. Andrew did something which was impossible, which seemed to be impossible, but he did. But he proved that the power of determination. He proved the power of determination. He determined and he did. So okay, so you also, if you determine to do something, you can also do. If you determine to achieve something, you can also achieve. Nothing is impossible for a man. For human beings, nothing is impossible. Okay, so with this note, I am going to wind up today's class. So thank you students for watching this video. See you tomorrow.